Hello and welcome to our viewer display. Before I start this tutorial, let me begin by going over a few things first. Over here on the left hand side is our home page, and this is where we mention any new additions to this viewer display. As you can see, there are two things here that we recently added. The first being the report a map error, and I'll go over that later in the tutorial. And the second is an addition to our layers data, in this case the parcels layer. Now, as you're using this viewer, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns with addressing, be sure to contact your 911 coordinator or us, and we'll be sure to follow up with you. And then if you have any questions in regards to this viewer, be sure to contact us, and we'll also follow up with you and your concerns. Now note that some of these issues with this, there are some issues with this display at times, and if an error does occur or some functions cannot close, simply just refresh the page and you should be all set to go. Now please note that many of our points and row data are not exactly mapped perfectly due to the original mapping back in 1998. However, we are slowly cleaning up this data to have a cleaner map display for you and us as well. So please try to refrain using the report an error tool if the only issue that you have is that our point data is slightly off in location. An example being a point for a house that's not directly over the center of the house. Now also, you can see here on our display on our home page is that we update this data on a weekly basis. And finally, before we start the tutorial, please note that the imagery is roughly a year old and it may not directly reflect what is currently there. Alright, so let's begin the tutorial. Firstly, there are many ways to move around and zoom in on this map. To pan around, you can simply click on the map, hold your selection, and drag the map to your desired location. To zoom in and out, there's a few ways to do that. You can use the plus or minus over here in the left hand corner. You can double click on the map, or if you have a scroller wheel on your mouse, that works as well. Now note, as you zoom in, you'll see certain layers such as the county boundaries here disappear, and other layers will start to appear such as roads and houses, and you'll notice the imagery as well. Now in the upper right hand corner over here, you can use the search tool, and you can actually use this to zoom in as well. So let me search an address. You can search a town, a road in a town, or an exact address if you have one. So in my case, I'll use an exact address. Now you see when I type this in, I use the ST for street right here, and you can type it in as spell it out, STREET. Either way, it will find that location. So let me hit return, and you'll notice on the left hand tab is everything that is related to my search. And the top function, or the topmost selected, is the exact match, and you'll notice right below it is a similar match of 100 East State Street. Now anything below this is the related roads, as you can see here, of State Street. Now let me zoom into the map by clicking on the point of my desired address. And you'll note that it did zoom me in. However, I want to zoom in even further until more layers become visible and more detail also becomes visible.